Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Welcome to a brand new episode of Open Letters to a Survivor. I am the moderator, James. Whole lot of stuff going on with us, with the platform, with the full platform. Radio station is going, things are up and running, podcasts are doing very well, radio shows are doing well. We are glad that you all are here with us tonight. Um, I'm not even going to drag us out today. I'm just going to kick it off to the Queen, and we're going to go ahead and get this show on the road because they have an amazing guest for you tonight. So I will kick it off to you, Lady Poet.
Thank you, and thank you for tuning in today, everybody. We are continuing our Let's Go to Therapy segment. Series. I'm sorry, everybody. Our Let's Go to the Therapy series for this month. Next week, you do not want to miss. We have a panel on. So if you have a perspective, if you want to ask questions, if you want to do whatever, if you need to know, we got some phenomenal therapists that will be on next week, and you can ask those questions at our panel discussion and hear some other things that they may offer and give information on. So before you leave tonight, I do have an announcement that I want to make for everybody. If you are tuned in, I will let you know at the end of the show. It is posted in the group, so if you did go in the group today, you did see it, but I will let you guys know here. And without further ado, we go to this week's letter. So take it away, Cassandra.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of Open Letters to a Survivor. So I'm going to start us with our Dear Survivor letter. Dear Survivor, you've overcome a lot to get where you are in your life today. But what if I told you there's more to your healing, more to your elevation, more to you than being a survivor? To reach the next level of more, the next level of elevation, the next level of healing, you need to go to therapy. Why? Here are just a few reasons. Therapy provides a safe place to share your feelings and emotions without fear of judgment. Therapy can help you heal from grief or trauma so that you can live an even more fulfilling life. Therapy can help you set goals while identifying and challenging negative thoughts and fears. Let's break generational cycles of mental health stigma and prioritize the strength and health of our minds in the same way we do for our bodies. You deserve it. Therapy is support, not punishment. Excuse me. Therapy is needed because you love yourself, not because you're crazy. Therapy is self care. So take care of yourself and be well as you elevate along your healing journey. Sincerely, Lady Poet Speaks, K Love, the entire team of Open Letters to a Survivor, tonight's guest therapist, Tony Williams, and me, Cassandra Williams.
Thank you for that.
So, without any further ado, I am going to introduce tonight's guest therapist, who is also who I call my sister in love, and affectionately I call her Sissy. So, this is my love, Miss Destiny Williams.
Yay! Thank you for coming on today, Destiny.
How do I have like a little? I got a headline. Okay, sorry. How are you guys?
Good evening, Des.
Good evening. How are you, ladies?
Good.
Right.
How are you?
I'm great.
Awesome. So I am going to get things started. I'm going to turn it over to K Love to get us going.
Okay.
Well, welcome. Glad to have you here. And I just love your big, bright smile.
Oh, thank you.
It's
That was the
supposed
first thing
to.
I thought. I was like, it's so big. I'm trying to step back a little, but I can't.
No. It's good just the way it is. So, our first question to you is for you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So hello again. My name is Destiny Williams. I'm a licensed clinical social worker in the state of Michigan. And pretty much what that means is that I am licensed to provide individual, group, and family therapy. I am, on top of that, I work with multiple school districts creating mental health, equity, and leadership programs. So I train staff, I do professional development, I train students, I host leadership programs. I do a lot of community education. I'm a big advocate. I do a lot of stuff like that. So overall, I'm just somebody who absolutely love mental health. I love children, and then I love women as well. So I have a nonprofit as well called Golden Girls Group. And the whole purpose of that is to connect women with resources and communities that will help the entire community grow. Because I believe if we put our work into women, everybody else will flourish. So, yep, that's a little bit about me. Oh, and I have my own podcast as well. It's called Surviving Superwoman. So, the whole thing about Surviving Superwoman is pretty much that as women of color, we've always been told that we're superwomen. And it's like, oh, good job. You saved the day, with your cape and all. And in reality, it kind of sucks to be superwoman. We are human. Like, we don't really have superpowers. So when we overstretch ourselves, we're actually hurting ourselves, So it's more like a support group for the women that do it all, and just the reality of it versus taking on that persona and wearing it like a badge, because it's not a fun title, even though it kind of sounds that way. So hopefully that gave you a little bit of who I am. I'm married. I don't have children. Cassandra's my sister-in-law. Her brother is irritating sometimes, but I love him,
That's a whole nother show.
No, I'm joking. I'm only joking because I'm sure he's watching, so I had to give him a little
Right.
Shout out.
Well, we thank you for that, and we thank you for that insight, and also for your podcast as well. I love that premise that we're not super women, so we shouldn't try to be all the time. So, so what is your approach to therapy, and how do you tailor it to each client to meet each client's needs?
So my approach to therapy is very solution focused. So lots of people, when they first come to therapy, they're like, these are my problems, let's fix them. And once you spend a little bit of time in therapy, it doesn't really work like that. You got to peel back a lot of layers. But I am solution focused. So I always go in with my clients of letting me know what's the goal, like what's your real goal? Where are we really trying to go? Not just solve this one little temporary problem that you came in to see me about. How do we really get to the root of what's going on? Like, where's your freedom lie? So I spend a lot of time in solution-focused therapy. My counseling practice is named Cheers to Life Counseling. I was a cheerleader. I coach cheerleading. I really do believe in the premise of cheerleading. So I use a lot of motivational interviewing as well. Like, I am the one that's going to show up if it's just me and be loud and scream and make noise. And I truly believe in literally cheering ourselves on and each other on. So I spend a lot of time clapping in therapy. I spend a lot of time pointing out the little things that superwomen and supermen tend to do, which we diminish a lot. Like, we're like, oh yeah, I did this and this and this, but that doesn't matter. Like, no, everything matters. Like, you put one shoe on today, you deserve an applause for your shoe. I truly believe that, because it's hard to get through life. So yeah, that's a little bit of me. Does that answer your question? Okay.
Absolutely. And so Des, now that you talked about cheering on your clients, right, and providing that safe space and that positive environment for them. Mm-hmm. But how do you handle situations where therapy seems to be progressing slowly or not working?
So I'm going to reverse a little bit. It is very important to make sure you have a therapist that matches you. Right. And so I'm very clear and direct with my clients that I may not be everybody's therapist, because I am a cheerleader and I'm going to cheer you on. I am also pushy at times, cheering you on. Like if we're here and we're doing this, then we're going to work together to kind of get it going. So if I feel like therapy is not progressing, I loop us back all the way to which is basically one of the first sessions, almost like an intake session. Like, what's your goal? So since we've been doing this, what has changed? What has improved? Are we really going into the direction that you want to go? Let's pull some layers back a little bit more. Let's revisit some of the things because something may have gotten missed. We may need to go back and talk a little bit more about something we passed over. There may be something hidden. So I always say go back to square one, because if we've been in it for a while and we've been trying things and it's not working, that's because there's a stone that has not been turned over. And most of the time as a client, they know what it is anyway. So you have to kind of go back and explore that and you'll kind of find it.
Got you.
And so what is your philosophy on therapist-client relationships, and how do you foster trust and communication?
Oh, I love that question. So my philosophy is that your therapist is like your very irritating friend. So it's your friend and it's the friend that you love, but it's not the friend you can lie to. Like it's the friend that can see through it real good too, and it's that friend that's not gonna let it just bypass. So it's the friend that you're not always with. We know we don't always call that person for everything, but when we're ready to get down to the nitty-gritty, that's who we lay it down for. Like that's the one that we pull out our notebook and we set a plan with. And so my philosophy is that now I do not believe in actually being friends with your therapist, which is unethical as well. So you can't do it anyway. But I do believe that getting someone outside of your circles, outside of who you are every day, outside of the type of industry you're in or something related to that, gives you that non-biased space. So it is very, very, very important to make sure you find someone that doesn't know you or not connected to you, but very much so like you. So hate to say it out loud, but like example, just because of who I am, I love treating Black women. Because I know how to make Black women feel as welcome as possible. So if that's commenting on your hair, or I notice them shoes are cute, or we're going to spend the first 10 minutes talking about how long it took to get my hair braided and how sleepy I am and how, oh my God, I went natural for 3 years and it just was crazy. Then I got a perm and then it burned out and then I was bald head. Because we've all been through those things, right? So my clients need to know, like, just because this is my job, I am human, like, as ever. And I always let them know, like, I have a therapist too. Like, you think you're crazy in my office, but I'm crazy in somebody's office too, right? Like, we just can't we all need somebody. So even though I'm the person assigned to you, I have somebody assigned to me and so on and so on and so on. So just like you were mad and you might want to do something crazy. I've probably done something crazy too, girl. It's okay. So just really trying to create that relatable space, share a lot of who I am without crossing the boundaries. Like I want to make sure I'm very human. Therapy is hard. People are coming with their deepest, darkest emotions, their things, the stuff that they hide away from everyone else. So if we gotta, both agree that to get our hair braided takes forever, that's nothing. We can get through that, Or like I said, if, women come in, they're like, oh, my husband knows all the time. I would throw him under the bus just to get some relationship moving. Like, just to, he knows it. He's 100% okay with it. Because in relationships is just an easy example, right? Like we all have had relationship blues. So if someone comes in, they're like, oh, you don't get it. You're happily married. Yeah, well, I want to kill him this morning. So what you got? Just to kind of make the relationship a little bit. So that's kind of how I approach everything.
I actually love that though, because it's those conversations that make you open up, like honestly. So I've had those same conversations where it's like every time I see you, your hair is different, and I'm like, that's because the hair store down the street and I can go. So it's like those icebreakers that feel comfortable. And even if you do have to talk about something that's hard, it kind of breaks the ice to get to that.
Yep.
So I love to have those type of conversations. So yeah, it's funny that you say that, because we've had plenty. When I go see my therapist, actually, we've had plenty conversations where we're laughing about hair, and she's like, every time I can't wait to see you because I don't know how you're gonna have your hair next week. So
it almost motivates you. It's like, oh, I got to get my hair done before I go see my therapist. You know, like it kind of gives you that extra boost. So yeah, I mean, and I have to be that way for whatever client. Like I tell all my male clients, like, hey, I know you're meeting me like this. I'm probably gonna look different every time we meet, but just go with it. And they always giggle, but then the next time they see me, they're like, oh, I'm like, I told you, like, you know, I got to get you ready for it, but don't worry, I'm still the same person. So, you know.
That's the real.
I promise you. That brings it just down to earth so that people can relax and be comfortable in working with you, because you just keeping it all the way 100.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's already the hardest conversations that you're gonna have, right? The least I could do is not be stuffy and be judgmental in the space. Like that's the least we can get through the easy human stuff really quickly. So that's just kind of how I would like to be treated. So that's kind of what I give.
Right. And so now with that, do you have any certifications or specializations in particular therapeutic methods, such as CBT or EMOR or mindfulness-based approaches?
Yes. So technically, no, I'm in the middle of a trauma infused certification, but I'm not done yet. So I can't say that yet. But yes, I'm working towards that. And then just my natural specialties, I've spent easily 15 years working with teenagers, preteens, teenagers. And then over the past maybe 8 years, I've had a strong focus on adult women as well. Black women. Yeah.
And since you stressed working with like teens and Black women in particular, excuse me, you know, it tends to be at times in our community, we don't necessarily normally seek help, right? That's surviving superwoman, like help in general, let alone therapy, right?
Yes.
And so what encouraging words could you give to someone who knows that they need therapy or might be on that road of seeking therapy, but doesn't know where to start?
Doesn't know where to start. Well, for one, you got to have a talk with yourself. You got to admit it to yourself, right? As humans, we were literally created to live on this earth with other people. So what you're trying to do right now, this whole individualistic thing that we're dealing with, first of all, it comes from white supremacy and just a lot of history that I could go down forever. But these ideals weren't even naturally created or given to you to make you believe that you have to do it by yourself. Black women are magical, and the Black girl magic is a thing. But it's a lie, right? Like we do magical things and we pull off amazing accomplishments, but that's because we're dope. It's not because we actually have magic. You have to take care of yourself. That you are a human. You are a human being. There are limits. We cannot sacrifice everything that we have trying to help and love and support everybody else and not take care of ourselves. So you can't pour from an empty cup. It just is what it is. Just like you got to go to the doctor when you have a broken arm, you got to go to the doctor when you are not feeling your best, or your therapist, pretty much. And truly, honestly, I believe in going to therapy all the time. Like I don't really think there should be much of a break. There are breaks. I've had breaks as well, but I think it's like a tune-up. It's more like a maintenance check, getting your oil changed type of thing. And so if you keep yourself in that space, you'll always be ready to go. But where to start off? I would say the easiest place to start off if you're looking for a therapist is psychologytoday.com. So that is one of the biggest ones in this country. That is a place where you can look up all the therapists in your area. You can search by zip code, you can search by gender, you can search by specialty. There are pictures of everyone. You can read everybody's philosophy. And that's the best way to privately comb through things and pick the therapist that you think is best for you. And also ask. You can call them and ask questions. Like, one thing I always tell people, a therapist is just like a romantic partner. Everybody's not for you. So you can have a session with somebody and it doesn't work, and you can go find a session with somebody else. That doesn't mean you're broken or it doesn't work for you. It just means that that human doesn't work for you, right? Like, just because of my experiences, my ideals, the way that I was raised, my parents, my traumas, I naturally can't be everyone's therapist. So I'm going to rub somebody in this world the wrong way. It just is what it is. And all of us do that in all of our spaces, right? If we're looking for a realtor to sell the house, every realtor is not ours. Some of them are irritating, right? Like, you'll say, oh, I didn't like how she did this and this, right? Same with therapists. There's going to be some that you're like, I don't like how this person does this. Go find another. There are enough of us. Stay on that site, if nothing else. Another good site specifically for Black women, even though I know that's not always our target, is therapyforblackgirls.com. So you can go there, and there's lots and lots and lots of therapists who look like you that you definitely can find from them as well.
Right. And my other question is like you just spoke about different ways to be able to research therapists, and particularly those who look like you. What's the importance? Is it necessary to have a therapist that looks like you?
So I go back and forth on this. As you can tell, I'm a little indecisive. Most of the time, I'm going to say yeah. So like, having a core therapist, I think, should look like you, simply because it is important to deal with someone who has very similar experiences facing the world, right? So it doesn't have to be everyday experiences, but simply as a person of color, you've experienced certain things that another person of color may be able to understand. Now, that's not saying that people who don't look like you are incapable of understanding. There's just more of a connection because you've actually had that personal experience, if that makes sense. So I do believe that it is important to find someone that looks like you, especially if you're new into therapy and you're on an identity awareness journey. Because I think that people who are just starting off, you're pretty much on an identity awareness journey. You're trying to figure out exactly who you are and why you are the way that you are. I do believe that once you go further into your journey, maybe you take a break from a therapist, and maybe you want to get back started, but you have very specific goals, then maybe you can look for therapists who specialize in those certain goals. So there are some therapists that are working through mental health issues, but they also specialize in helping with financial goals. And as you might know, a lot of them don't look like us, just being honest. Right? But that's okay, because they look like the people who know how to get you to those financial goals. And so they, so for that point in time, that may look a little differently. And that also might mirror coaching just a little bit. It just kind of depends. But I have one friend that I recommended, like, maybe you should go to therapy and with a white man. And she was like, what? I don't know. There's nothing he can tell me. He doesn't get my experience. I know. He has the most privilege in the world, and you are right now trying to work on your confidence. You want to talk to somebody who can walk into a room and be themselves without thinking twice about it. And so this is somebody that doesn't have the wall that we have. And so they're not going to guide you through that wall because they don't have it. Bust through it. Go straight through it. Walk in that room like you're a white man. See what happens. Just, and she didn't stay with him forever, but she did love her time with him, and she did come out a lot more confident in a professional space, which is what she was working towards. So it worked out. So I'm kind of on the fence. It kind of depends on what role that you're working on, but I would definitely say for beginners and really trying to get in contact with who you are and be aware of your self identity, start with someone who looks like you.
Yes, and I love that. And I talked about that too before, having a criteria. I tell everybody to write down what you want before you go.
Mhm.
Look for them, because when I called, I told them, I said, it got to be a lady. She got to be African American. She has to specialize in these issues, and she has to be Christian.
Mhm.
And they connected me to like 2 of them, and I was like, nope, boop, right here. I like this one.
Mhm.
It's been history ever since. So
Yes, that's perfect. You can be picky. Like, this is the space to be picky. Your therapist is just for you. It's not for your kids. It's not for your friends. It's not for anybody to know about. Nothing. Like, it's just for you. So yeah, be as picky as you possibly can to find the right person. And then also being aware of, over time, our lives just change and our needs change. It's like a roller coaster. You go up and down and up and down. So that's why your therapist may change over time, or you might leave somebody and come back, or whatever the case may be. Do what you need to do for yourself. And that's 100% okay all the time.
So yeah, I love that, and that's giving a lot of people, good advice that they need. And we could have a whole show about therapy horrors. Like, I could tell horror stories. So to have some good ones on, that was the reason why we did it. Because whenever we guide and tell people that there's help out here, they say, "Well, I had this one," or "I hear so many horror stories." So we were bringing in, Black therapists on, specifically women, so we can kind of combat those issues that we've had.
Yes. And I would definitely say you do your research. So when COVID happened, there was like this influx of everyone needing mental health care. And so therapists kind of push themselves into the industry as well. And some may not be best in some areas, or they may not be best for some clients, or they may still be learning that. So just like you guys are in the market to find the right therapists, therapists are in the market to find the right clients. And we talk about it pretty often that a lot of us have niche clients and we don't want to admit it. Like, everyone, because like, we're social workers. So we want to save the world. We want to see everybody and help everybody. And it does not always work that way. So sometimes therapists have to go through a little bit of a journey to realize that you have specific clients that you do better with, and those are the ones that you should work with as well. So it's literally like dating, like speed dating. It's really kind of set up like that. So try to give the people a little grace. But really, you really just got to find your best match for you. And once you do, it'll be great. But it does take a little bit of effort and a little bit of work. And that's okay. You don't want anybody in your deepest, darkest, secrets that you didn't put a little extra work into anyway. So, but give them a little bit of grace. But if you don't feel it, get out of there.
That's some perfect advice. So how can you be reached if people do want to reach out? How can you be reached?
So I will share my information. I take a very limited amount of clients right now, simply because I do a lot of my time I spend it working with school districts. So right now I'm contracting with public schools, community districts. So I do a lot of education there. They have about 50,000 students and like 7,000 employees. So I've been doing a lot of work in equity and leadership and mental health and things like that. So yes, I will give you my information. If you contact me and you're looking for a therapist and for some reason I can't help, I'll help you find somebody. I for sure do that. But you guys can find me at Destiny, DESTINEE, at cheerstolifecounseling.com. Yes, .com. Sorry, my other email has .org, so I always have to stop. So yeah, at cheerstolifecounseling.com. And then also Cheers to Life Counseling on Instagram, on Facebook. I think we even have a TikTok page. So any of those, the information will come straight to me.
Okay, thank you for that. And also, if you do, you can email us at openletterstoasurvivor@gmail.com. We'll make sure we forward that information to Destiny. And then Lena Griffin, of course, Lena Griffin Mays is our resource coordinator. So if you do have resources and you need them, she does do that behind the scenes. She will be able to help you get into the assistance and whatever help you need. We do have her back and behind the scenes as our resource coordinator. So again, you can email us at openletterstoasurvivor@gmail.com and we can get that situated. Now, before we go any further, I do want to talk about our announcement that we do have. So everybody, on December 29th, we will be celebrating our 50th episode of Open Letters to a Survivor. Yay! So we are asking all of our past guests or even future guests that are coming on if they want to speak, wish congratulations for the new year and maybe things that they would like to see us do in the new year. So if you would like to do that, just email us or you can Facebook message any one of us and we will be able to add you to that. So stay tuned for that show. We are excited about that. And next week, we are having a panel discussion again, just to highlight the Black therapists that have been on this. And we may have a few new ones pop in to just talk about what they do and the services they offer. So you guys don't want to miss that. It's going to be like a 60-minute commercial for everyone that is on. So we do thank them and appreciate them for not only being guests, but also coming back to wrap up our series. So thank you for that. And before we turn it over to our motivational minute with Tim, we'll go to our spotlight and our sponsors. You are welcome to stay on while we complete the rest of the show.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So in our spotlight today, you know me, it's Righteous Brothers from our own Tim. Tim Stevens. Sorry, y'all. Contact him on Instagram at right.brothers216 so you can get right, feel right, stay right, and so you can grow right. Just get yourself together, get right, and get you some apparel, some accessories from our brother Tim. He's doing his launch on December 17th.
Yes, and he will be our guest on December 22nd.
Yeah. So get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. And also, our own Lena Griffin Mays. She released her book, her first book, Redeemed. And she is also added to our team. So we want to give her shout out. Yay, Lena. And she's like Lady Poet said, she is going to be one of our resource coordinators. So we want to welcome her to the team once again. And then we have Marvel, the Strength Production LLC, for custom t-shirts, mugs, and all of your custom needs. Reach out on Facebook at Marvel the Strength. And to get on our spotlight, just please email us at openletterstoasurvivor at gmail.com. Try to put us on Instagram too. Hey.
Yep.
And in the subject line, just put spotlight. And then we'll reach out to you and get all your information and then include you in our spotlight. Now let's go to therapy. We have our two therapists who we highlight every week. Belinda Williams. You can reach her at belinda@chawc.org for therapy. And our other therapist, Shamara Hutchins, the Mindologist. You can reach her on all social medias and just look up the Mindologist. They both do trauma therapy for our community, and they work with your schedules, and they are awesome therapists. Love them both, have met them both. Awesome, awesome, awesome Black women who are out here doing their thing for our community. So if you need therapy, reach out to either one of them. And if you didn't get the information, just email us again at openletters@gmail.com, and we will reach out to you and give you their information.
Thank you.
All right, and I'm going to do my spot on sponsorship. So your support matters. By sponsoring Open Letters to a Survivor, you join us in our commitment to improving mental health outcomes for people of color and tackling systemic disparities. Help us continue this important work by becoming a sponsor. Reach out to us at openletterstoasurvivor@gmail.com and in the subject line, write sponsor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Spend the money, spend the money.
Amen. Okay.
Yeah, we are trying to get out here and help our community more. You know, we want to heal holistically. So if that means that somebody need groceries and we can help them, we want to do that. So we don't only want to come and just speak on Saturdays. We also want to give back to our community. So thank you for just inquiring and, you know, for people that do want to help us. And we would be remiss if we didn't, you know, in all thy ways acknowledge me, and I would direct your path, as Tim says every week. So, you know, we didn't acknowledge God for everything that he has brought us to leading up into our 50th episode, we would not be here today. So before we end the show today, Tim, take us to church.
Ian.
Hey, Tim.
Oh, hey everybody! I didn't know I was on the screen. I barely can see you all, but I'm glad you all can hear me. That's all that matters. But today I just gonna keep it brief. Just continually trust the Lord. It may be hard, maybe some dark moments, maybe some difficult times, but trust the Lord. He's gonna bring you through it. Before.
Oh no.
Oh, no. He'll be back shortly. We always say there's always technical difficulties when you're doing the right thing. So I'll put in, and then maybe everybody until he comes back can say something maybe to motivate somebody. So I just
I got something. Can I say something?
go ahead.
So, very similar to what you guys do, my nonprofit Golden Girls Group, we have a fund called the Deja Lett Fund. So Deja Lett is one of our board members that recently actually just passed away due to complications with lupus, but she had been fighting for a very long time. So we have a fund where women who are just going through some disparities, it's not a lot of money, but kind of how you said, groceries or just, you know, help to get your oil changed or the things that insurance or, you know, where all of the other money is wrapped up in won't do. We also give to women. So go to goldengirlsgroup.org and let us know if you need support in that space as well. So, and then, you know, one day we could probably collab and do some stuff together too. But after when you mentioned that, I thought about it like, oh, we do the same thing. So you got a couple places to check it out.
Well, thank you, and we will. We do look forward to collaborating. That is what we love to do.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Tim. Welcome back. You are muted, but go ahead. We know technical difficulties arise every time you start speaking about God. The devil get busy. We know that. So it looks like he is having technical difficulties today. But I just want to encourage anyone that is, you know, hesitant or scared to go to therapy. It's okay to seek therapists. It's okay to go. It's okay to talk to somebody. It's okay not to run to the church, but talk to somebody else because God made them too. So it's okay to be able to do that. And Cassandra or K-Love, if you have anything encouraging you want to leave with the viewers today.
Absolutely. I want to piggyback off of that. We are believers and we do believe in Christian therapists, whether they're psychiatrists, psychologists, or social workers that have therapy backgrounds. Anyone who we want to enlighten or highlight, we trust and believe that they are a believer in Christ. And that's our baseline for our organization and for our company. And it's not to discount anyone who is not a believer, but we welcome you as well, you know. And, you know, we're going to give you the Bible no matter what, because that's just our grain. That's where we come from. And that's our baseline. And so also, don't be afraid. Don't have the spirit of fear keep you from getting healing. And so reach out, whether it's your church or whether it's at your job, because jobs are nowadays just allowing people to work, understanding that they have some difficulties, they have some trauma that they need a therapist for. And so they're allowing you to take time to get your health together, your mental and emotional health together. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. We here, we got you. And if we don't know somebody directly, we'll find somebody for you. Just like Ms. Williams said, we got the resources for you. So don't be afraid, don't fret. It's out there for you. God made all of that for you.
All right now. Oh, I followed that up. I'm just going to keep it brief. First and foremost, and I know we're going to do this anyway, but I definitely just had to say thank you once again to Destiny for coming on this evening. And to highlight again the positives around therapy and how it is a natural part of life where we need to make it more of a natural part of life, and to let go of the stigma behind it, because you're not crazy. All of us need support. You even heard her say a therapist has a therapist, right? So we are all here to support each other. Like, that's why people are. So I definitely, again, wanted to say thank you to Des for coming on and for reiterating the importance of therapy. And again, we touched on for women, we touched on for Black women, we touched on for adolescents. I mean, there's a plethora. We touched on, I have some male clients. Like, it's for everyone, right? And so you just have to be in the game. You got to jump in. So just step in there. You know yourself better than anyone else. You just need somebody to kind of help you along the way. And that's okay. So it doesn't have to be somebody that you're close to. Matter of fact, it's better when it's not, because you can actually speak your full truth and know that there's no judgment behind it, because they don't know you to judge you. And it's not their job. So you have that culmination of all these things that are in your favor. So the longer you take, it's just prolonging the inevitable. So just step into that arena. You have people here right here on this screen who will support you in whatever way we possibly can. There were resources mentioned here online on this podcast. You can go back and watch that replay. You can check in with us on openletterstoasurvivor@gmail.com. Whatever you need to do, and we got you.
Well, thank you for that. And Tim, are you able to hear us now?
Yeah, I'm praying that everything's gonna push through. I don't know what's going on with the connection here, but I'm just gonna be brief. Trust in the Lord. Allow the Lord to be part of you. Allow the Lord to rule over you, and continually strive to live another day. And why do I say that? Because there's so much going on, and so much turmoil, so much stress, so much anxiety, so much hatred going on in the world, so much evilness going on in the world, but we have to still remain faithful and still strive to live another day. And how do you live another day? And that's with great purpose and great determination.
Here we go. It keep cutting off. We'll just see him next week. It could be the area he's in. He did recently move, so it could be that. We'll get it fixed. But thank you. And then stay tuned. In 2025, we will be launching the Survival Guide, which will be resources for survivors. So we will be launching our magazine in 2025, the Survival Guide. So this was a short show today, but we thank everybody for tuning in. And come back next week to see us in our panel discussion. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Destiny, we appreciate you coming today. We appreciate you coming on next week. We hope to partner with you and maybe even collaborate on a few things. So we just appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it as well. We'll stay connected for sure. No worries.
Thank you. And we will see everybody next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.